Have you ever participated in a passive aggressive conversation? Yes? No? Let's dive in. Hello, I'm Francesca, vibrational love match strategist and guru and lover of all things love and harmonic partnership. And today I just want to briefly speak about three reasons in general behind passive aggressive conversations, communications. And you all know different samples of this, ranging from silent treatment to the snarky comments and everything in between. And in my practice and my experience, I'm going to share the three most common reasons these pop up. And so let's dive in. All right. So the first one is kind of the easiest. And this is one that is more situational, doesn't make it right, but it's when one of the persons has had a bad day and they aren't, we'll say, the best at maybe emotional regulation or even have a very high level of emotional granularity. So their default then is to be quiet or just make some type of snark comment. Now, in order for a relationship to be healthy and successful, you need to have clear communication. And if the person has had a crappy day, it happens to all of us. Something happens at work or this or that or whatever. It's part of life. And you don't want to take that out on your partner. A lot of times, I think people can slide into talking to their partner like a subordinate sometimes, especially depending on the type of job that they may have. And so we can tend as humans to be sometimes really ugly to the people that we are supposed to love the most. And I hope that with these videos and in my work that I can help start to shift that. Always speak to your partner and anybody for that fact the way you want to be spoken to. If you've had a crappy day and you need some unwind time, you can text them ahead of time before you get home, call them before you get home. When you come home, or maybe you come home first and they come and be like, you know what? I had a really crappy day. I just want to, watch episodes of The Office or whatever. But you need to be clear and communicate your needs. It is not your partner's job to regulate your emotions. That is your job. And once again, the other person it's not acceptable to be passive aggressive with them, even, making a one-off comment. So if you do that, okay, no biggie. Apologize. Like, gosh, I'm really sorry. I apologize for saying X. I had a craptastic day. That doesn't justify it. I care about you, or whatever verbiage feels appropriate to you. So that's reason one behind those offhanded passive aggressive comments sometimes. The next two are a lot more layered and a lot more challenging to, we'll say, resolve, but there always is a solution. The second reason is usually there's an unspoken irritation, and it usually has to deal with some type of boundary violation. And the person whose boundary was violated doesn't have the words at the time, or there's a fear of not being able to communicate that, or there may not even be an awareness that a boundary was violated. Like all they know is like, they were hurt. And so they react out of that hurt. And that hurt is usually then linked to something in childhood or some fear of abandonment or some other type of fear. And once again, each individual is different. But like I said, there are patterns that I have seen over the years. And so that's why I've compiled this to share it with you. And so if there is some boundary violation, once again, you need to look at what your role and responsibility is and express what the boundary is and the acceptance or not acceptance of this violation, and then how to move forward. And it's interesting because most people shy away from challenging conversations. And I have found that it's those perceived challenging conversations that can actually bring people closer. And so then you can build healthier habits with each other. And a lot of times, some of these behaviors are because of things that we saw growing up or that we've seen, and we're just acting out the same thing. And there may not be a lot of awareness that, oh my gosh, this is not how a healthy relationship should be. And so awareness is key. And that leads to the third reason. And the third reason, especially if passive aggressive comments are the norm, which is absolutely not healthy, that usually means that there are several deeper issues within the relationship. And there's usually a lack of respect and trust and a whole slew of other things, as well as not so good communication skills. And communication is a skill. And as such, it can be learned and you can implement these things. And so if passive aggressive is more the norm than not, I invite you to take a step back and really get clarity. What is the pattern? And what is your role? Have you had relationships like this before? Is this something that you saw as a child or even as an adult? So we tend to replace certain things because they're comfortable to us, not that because they're necessarily healthy. And so really get that clarity. And some relationships can be, like I said, rejuvenated. Their solutions, if both partners are willing to look at and own, take responsibility for their role in the relationship, it can absolutely be healed and move forward. And in those relationships where one of the people does not want to look at their stuff or they blame the other person, and that's a video for a whole other day because there's all sorts of layers around that. Um, it's best to walk away. If the relationship does not serve the highest good and the greatest happiness of both parties involved, and it's not harmonious and it cannot be repaired, then it's time for a cleanup, resolution, and that contract, and start fresh with somebody new. So I hope you found these insights useful. Give this video a thumbs up, click like, subscribe, share with your friends, all the things social media. I am deeply grateful to each and one of you that view these videos and that do like and comment. Super, super grateful. All right. So until next time, more love vibes to come. Ciao.